This week, it's a case of popularity winning over quality. Which, okay, that's kind of just my opinion, but I stand by it. Hello everybody and welcome to another weekly countdown of the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan, this covering December 10th to the 16th of 2018. I'm Justus R. Stone and my channel is all about light novels. For countdowns like this one, news, reviews, and the light novel podcast as well. So if you love light novels or maybe you're just starting to get interested in them, you should consider subscribing. Now apologies right up front, I'm really behind with posting this video, but it's the holidays. It just throws your schedule completely out to the wind. I'm sure that you all kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's just get to the list. At number 10, with 6,673 copies sold, Gekijouban Dragon Ball Super Brolly. This one, the novel adaptation of the Dragon Ball Super movie that just opened up in Japan. This is licensed in English, the manga that is, by Viz. The light novel I don't believe has been picked up yet. The Dragon Ball Super anime is currently streaming on Crunchyroll. This one, as I said, it's the novel adaptation. This is the 20th movie in the Dragon Ball series, and it's actually the first to carry the Dragon Ball Super branding. The film's story takes place after the universe survival saga depicted in Dragon Ball Super under the tagline, The Greatest Enemy, Saiyan. The film depicts the fate of series protagonists Goku and Vegeta as they encounter a new Saiyan called Brolly. In the beginning, it tells the history of the Saiyan race and the background story of these three Saiyans with different destinies connected to the turbulent period of their race. At number 9, with 7,052 copies sold, Volume 13 of Yahari Ori no Seishun Love Comedy wa Machigatteiru. Or, as we have it in English, My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong as I Expected. This one we do have licensed for English release by Yen On. They're going to be releasing Volume 7 in February of 2019. Of course, there's a 26-episode anime which covered Volumes 1 to 11, and this is the second last volume of this series. Volume 14 will end the series. Hachiman Hikigaya is a cynic. Youth is a crock, he believes, a sucker's game, an illusion woven from failure and hypocrisy. But when he turns in an essay for a school assignment espousing this view, he's sentenced to work in the Service Club, an organization dedicated to helping students with problems in their lives. How will Hachiman the cynic cope with a job that requires optimism? At number 8, with 7,233 copies sold, Part 4, Volume 5 of Honzuki no Gekokujou. Or, as we're getting it in English, Ascendance of a Bookworm. Now, when I say we're getting it in English, we're getting the manga adaptation in English from J-Novel Club. In fact, it's one of their first manga titles that they're releasing. We do not yet have a license for the light novels. I have to think it's coming. I mean, this one has topped out on Kono Light Novel ga Sugoi the last 2 years. We now are getting the manga. I just can't believe that the light novels aren't close. They've got to be just close. Urano, a bookworm who had finally found a job as a librarian at a university, was sadly killed shortly after graduating from college. She was reborn as the daughter of a soldier in a world where the literacy rate is low and books were scarce. No matter how much she wanted to read, there were no books around. What is a bookworm to do without any books? Make them, of course. Her goal is to become a librarian, so that she may once again live surrounded by books. She must start by making them herself. At number 7, with 7,852 copies sold, Volume 20 of Hataraku Mao-sama, or as we have it in English, The Devil is a Part-Timer. This one licensed for English release by Yen On. They just released volume 12, 13. There was a 13-episode anime which aired April to June in 2013 and only covered volumes 1 to 2, so we're significantly ahead of what the anime covered. In the world of Anti-Isla, the demon lord Satan has attempted to conquer humanity using an enormous army of demons. But when he almost succeeds, mankind's champion, Hero Emilia, thwarts his plans, forcing him to retreat into a portal that leads to a world unbeknownst to him. Tokyo, Earth. Along with his faithful servant Alciel, Satan stumbles upon the modern-day city of Tokyo without any knowledge of the world itself. Completely out of their depth, they gain some information from a police officer, but Satan still has one more problem: money. In order to survive with his greatly diminished powers, he guises himself as a human named Sadao Mao, lives in an apartment, and becomes a part-timer at the fast food restaurant McDonald's. Determined not only to conquer Anti-Isla but also Earth, Sadao strives to become a full-time employee in his job as he believes that it would be a step forward in his conquests. Things begin looking up for the once all-powerful demon as he ventures through his everyday life, his job, his home, and his relationships. However, a major setback pops up when Emilia, the hero who drove him out of Anti-Isla, suddenly appears. At number 6, with 10,475 copies sold, Volume 5 of Itai no wa iya nano de Bogioroyoku ni Kyoku Furi Shitai to Omiomasu. Or, I hate being in pain, so I think I'll make a full defense build. We do not have an English license for this light novel series. They just announced that there is going to be an anime adaptation for this series. The novel's story centers on Kaede Honjo, who is invited by her friend Risa Shiramine to play a virtual reality MMO game with her. While Kaede doesn't dislike games, what she really, truly dislikes is being in pain. She creates a character named Maple and decides to put all her points into vitality to minimize pain. As a result, she moves slowly, can't use magic, and even a rabbit can get the best of her. But as it turns out, she acquires a skill known as absolute defense as a result of her pumping points into vitality, as well as a counter skill that works against special moves. Now, with her ability to nullify all damage, she goes on adventures. At number 5, with 12,124 copies sold, Tante Team KZ Jiken Note, Kiete Kureneko wa Shiteru, or Detective Team KZ's Case Notes. There's no English license for this series. Now, there was a 16-episode anime which aired October 2015 to January 2016, and it's currently streaming on Crunchyroll. Tante Team KZ Jiken Note centers on 6th grader Aya Tachibana, who worries about friends, family, grades, and more. One day, she joins the detective team KZ with 4 very unique boys that she met in cram school. There is the glib and attention-grabbing leader, Kazuomi Wakatake, the mysterious expert of personal relationships, Takakazu Kuroki, the smart and stoic math genius, Kazunori Uesugi, and the sweet-hearted Kazuhiko Kozuka, who is good at social matters and science. Aya finds her place among them as the language expert. Tante Team KZ gets involved in modern-day cases, and even if they bicker from time to time, they collaborate by pooling each of their talents and skills to solve the case. At number 4, with 12,982 copies sold, volume number 9 of Goblin Slayer. This, of course, we do have licensed for English release by Yen On. They're going to be releasing volume 6 in January of 2019. And, of course, there's a 12-episode anime which just finished airing. You can catch it on Crunchyroll. It covered volumes 1 to 2 with at least one of the short stories from volume number 4 included in it. A young priestess has formed her first adventuring party, but almost immediately they find themselves in distress. It's the Goblin Slayer who comes to their rescue, a man who's dedicated his life to the extermination of all goblins, by any means necessary. And when rumors of his feats begin to circulate, there's no telling who might come calling next. At number 3, with 16,137 copies sold, volume number 9 of Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. This one we do have licensed for English release by Yen On. They're going to release volume 3 in February of 2019. There was also a 12-episode anime which streamed on Crunchyroll and covered volumes 1 to 3. This one is not actually written by Reiki Kawahara, who wrote the other Sword Art Online series. It's actually written by Keiichi Sigsawa, who is the author of Kino's Journey. A brand new battlefield awaits. Karen Kohiruimaki is a college student who stands at an imposing 6 feet. While her complex about her height makes it hard for her to make friends in the real world, the VR MMO Gun Gale Online changes everything. Now, equipped with her ideal mini avatar and clad in a pink battlesuit, Karen is ready to shoot up the world of GGO as Len. Before long, she meets the beautiful Pito Hui, and the two rare female players become fast friends. Little does Len know that this friendship is the key to her entry in the first ever Squad Jam, a team-based battle royale that echoes the famous Bullet of Bullets tournament. At number 2, with 51,711 copies sold, Volume 14 of Dungeon ni Dei wa Motomeru no wa Machigatteiru Daroka. Or, as I find it much easier to say in English, is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Or, which is even easier, Danmachi. We do have this licensed for English release by Yen On. We're really not that far behind. They're going to be releasing volume 13 in March of 2019. There is a 13-episode anime series which streams on Crunchyroll, and it covered the first 5 volumes. In Orario, fearless adventurers band together in search of fame and fortune within the monstrous underground labyrinth known as the Dungeon. But while riches and renown are incentive enough for most, Bel Cranal, would-be hero extraordinaire, has bigger plans. He wants to pick up girls. Is it wrong to face the perils of dungeons alone in a single-member guild blessed by a failed goddess? Maybe. Is it wrong to dream of playing hero to hapless maidens in dungeons? Maybe not. After one misguided adventure, Belle quickly discovers that anything can happen in the labyrinth, even chance encounters with beautiful women. The only problem? He's the one who winds up the damsel in distress. Finally, at number 1, with 66,007 copies sold, Volume 21 of Sword Art Online. This one we do have licensed for English release by Yen On. They're going to be releasing, well, they just released Volume 15 in December of 2018. There is, of course, a new season of the anime currently airing, which is adapting the Alicization arc, which up until this volume was the last arc of Sword Art Online. This is actually the first new volume since September of 2017, and it's the first new material that wasn't covered by the web novel. And now the web novel was finished back in like 2008, so this is like the first new Sword Art material within the main Sword Art storyline that is being written by Reiki Kawahara after his many years now of growth and advancement as an author. So it'll be very interesting to see how this arc goes and how it'll be received. Now, if you're not familiar with the story of Sword Art Online, of course, it all begins with a group of players being trapped in a virtual reality game in which they either win the game or if they die in the game, they die for real. After they escape from that game, and that's really not a spoiler because that's only the first book, and this, of course, is volume 21, the series just sort of continues following the main characters as they become involved with other virtual reality games for a variety of different reasons, which really would be spoilers to get into, so I won't. So yes, once again, Sword Art Online mowing down the competition, which kind of disappoints me because I really think that Danmachi's a better series, but that's just, you know, that's me, that's my opinion. Feel free to disagree, although speaking to most of you in the comments over the years, I kind of think most of you think the same way I do. This week, I want to say a special thanks to Ricardo Matos, Bob Thompson, and Ki Duong Ngayen for their support on Patreon, as well as the support of all of my patrons that allow me to pay for the additional hosting for the Light Novel podcast so that it gets out to as many platforms as possible, and to buy books so that I can share my thoughts with all of you here on YouTube. So those are the top 10 best-selling light novels for December 10th to the 16th of 2018. I'm late enough with this list that I actually already know the list of the top 10 for next week, and at least the one spoiler I'll give you is that Sword Art is not number 1. Yay, there's a brand new number 1. And you'll have to join me in that video to find out what it is, or, well, you can probably figure it out if you're really dying to know, but I hope you'll join me in the next video. In the meantime, thanks so much for joining me in this one. Until next time, bye-bye for now.